Okay, so this exercise we're going to be looking at this diagram over here. So we would like to define the shape that is abstract. So I have a couple of classes. So shape and then circle. Let me just zoom out a little bit. And then rectangle and square. So I'm going just to define those classes first, and then pay attention to those details later on. Just make sure that as we said, like the sharp key is for the protected. The getters and setters and the toString are going to be generated. We have like two abstract methods: get area and get perimeter, and these are the ones that are in bold and italic. These two. And the subclasses. Okay, so we're going to be overriding the abstract methods. This get area and get perimeter. Oh, and of course we already overriding the toString, and we're going to test it later on. The last thing what we do is testing this, because as they say, some statements may trigger compilation errors, so we'll keep this at the end. So let's start now with this first class. Okay, and so I created this project. I called it test abstract shape, and then I don't need this file anymore, because for now I'm going to create the class shape. And this class shape is abstract, and I'm going to be defining the color and field, both of them protected. I can just make use of NetBeans encapsulation, which will help me change this visibility operators when I'm encapsulating the fields with the getters and setters. So what I'm going to do, just make it simple with just not type much, by doing something like this: color and then boolean field. And then there's something, you remember, we can go to the refactor and then encapsulate fields, or there's something I can do it from here. I can just use this source insert code, this one, this alt insert. I'm going to use it, alt insert, and it's going to do something. It's going to generate this for me. So I can do this getter and setter, and we can generate it from here. I can add some constructors, or because I want to have the getters and setters at the same time, go to the refactor and encapsulate fields. So in the encapsulate fields, I select them all, because I want to have the get color, set color, is field, set field. Remember that for the boolean we don't have get field, we just have is field, because is field is yes or no, true or false. So, and then the thing is, the fields visibility are going to be putting it as protected, not private. And then when I refactor, you're going to see now they are protected. And I'm using NetBeans to help me in the coding, so I'll spend less time typing myself. So now I have this get color, set color, and I have is field and set field by default. It is already prepared. So I'm almost done all these things. I need to work on these constructors. So with the constructor, I just need to go somewhere within the class and click on source insert code, or same thing, alt insert, same thing. And you see there's the constructor. Just I'm going to create a constructor. Which fields you would like to initialize? None of them. I would like to have an empty constructor for now, and I can insert another constructor, and this time select them both and generate, and you see it's going to do it for me as well. So this is going to be generated automatically without the need of me typing anything. Just need to alt insert or source insert code. And now I'm going just to do something like this. I need to put some values. I don't know which values to put. Maybe I can try to find here if there are any indication of what kind of values I should use, or is there anything that shows me what is displayed. I don't see something that shows me how some sort of a display, so I'm going to choose whatever I want. I'm going to say no color and false, for example, for is field by default. So I need to put my initial values myself, and I chose those values. And this is about the constructor. We almost finished the class, right? because what's left now in here, I've done all these. Now I need just to have this get area, get perimeter, and the toString. And let's start with the public abstract double get area, and this is the first one, this is the abstract one, and the second one is get perimeter. Yes? Alright, so we have these two now defined. The last thing that is remaining is toString. And in order for me to have this toString, again, this alt insert with the insert code, there's something that says toString. And then, but do you want to include in toString? You want to include this one? Let's find. Okay, let's include them. And this is going to propose, suggest something to return. So it just returns the shape, the name of the class, and then the color is, and the field is the value. Just give me something like that, whatever they decided to, and they give you the possibility. You can do whatever you want. You can change this to anything that suits you, because nothing in the exercise tells you what to do, but you can still leave this one as is, and I'm happy with it. So let's find it. That's fine. So now we have the two constructors, the get area, get color, get perimeter. These get area and get perimeters, they are abstract, but however I cannot see anything that tells me that they are abstract. And I have this is field, set color, set field, and the two protected instance variables. So now we're done with this shape, right? Any questions? Okay, so let's keep going. Yes. I don't get your question. Can you say it again? Why did I do what?
Oh, yes, this public shape.
Yes, this one.
Yeah. Why don't you just implement it directly?
What do you mean implement it directly?
First, you said that we don't need to include the color and the.
What I meant is that here, this is a no argument constructor. By not including the color in the field, this field variable, I meant I don't want to have a constructor that includes any arguments, because this is one of the requirements here. We would like to have a constructor with no arguments, and then we wanted to have another constructor with two arguments. That's why at first, when I selected this constructor, I did not select these two, which means these are the arguments now. We're talking about the arguments. Do I want to have any arguments or not? Since the first time I did not select the arguments, that's why I ended up with just empty, no arguments or constructor. And this is just a requirement. I'm just trying to follow up what's in the class. And the class has these two constructors. Okay. Now I'm going to be adding the new class. Which one you would like to start with? Rectangle or circle? Circle. So circle extends shape, and then as soon as I extend shape, I have this mistake that shows, because why is this showing? Because shape is abstract, but this is not only the only problem. I mean, this is not the problem. The problem is that because shape is abstract and there are abstract methods that I need to define. And if see, it will tell me circle is not abstract and does not override abstract method get perimeter in shape. So I need to fix that by I mean defining those abstract methods, and I'm going to be implementing them. If I click on implementing them, I mean NetBeans is going to help me and generate them for me. And he's going to be doing something else that we're going to see when we're going to be talking about exceptions. But now it just shows me that these two have to be there. You have to define them. Or this circle, make it abstract. So I have the choice, either to define all the abstract methods coming from my superclass, or make it abstract and then it will not complain anymore. So that's the idea of these abstract methods. But we don't want this to be abstract, so I'm going to be implementing it. So let's add them. Implement all abstract classes, methods, and then I have these things over here. But I don't want to then have these, because I need to return something, and this is something that is based on some calculation based on the radius. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to postpone creating these and live with this red line for a while until I just fix create this radius that I'm going to be encapsulating with refactor encapsulate fields and select them all, and this I wanted to make it protected and refactor. Now I have these radius with the get radius and set radius. So this is the radius, and I have get radius, set radius. I would like to have 3 constructors this time, and those 3 constructors I'm going to insert the constructors with alt insert and then a constructor, and see, it helps me in terms of the constructor and then the super constructor I would like to use. So for example, the first one, I would like just to use this super constructor and nothing from no arguments here. So this is the circle. I'm just going to call my super constructor. I didn't call it because by default, if I don't put anything, it will call it by default. But I just would like to put this, and then the radius, I'll put it as -1 to show that there's nothing that was there. Because it doesn't make sense to put 0. Maybe you might think that 0 is a value that somebody selected. Whatever, I can put 0 as well if you want. It's just me that initialize this variable with the value that doesn't mean anything to me. And -1 to me means there's nothing. But you can put any value here. It depends on what you want to do. And then I'm going to insert again, and this time a constructor when we wanted only to have this radius. And I'm going, which one should I call? I'm going to be calling this super constructor that takes nothing. And you see, it doesn't include it because by default it's going to be done. If I don't mention super, by default it will call the super classes constructor with no arguments. But I want this to be explicit, so I'm putting it myself. I just want this to be there. And I would like now to show you the insert of the third one, the constructor that will take this and also call the constructors of my superclass that takes the 2 arguments with the color and the boolean, the string and the boolean. Now if I click on generate, you see it will do this for me. It will add this radius plus this color and field. These 2 are going to be sent to the superclass constructor, and this one is going to be initialized here locally and within this class. So it does this for me instead of me typing. It helps you just generate things quite easily. So get used to this because it will help you during your practical exams. Well, because this will help you generate things quite faster. But you need to understand, I mean, why this didn't show up and everything anyways. But need to understand also how to use those. So now we have our constructors. We had 3 constructors. Circle, no arguments, circle with just radius, and circle with radius, color, and field. And we have them 3. Circle, circle just radius, and radius, color, and field. And then we have the set radius, get radius. Now we need just to implement those get area and get perimeter. And let's do that. And if I click on implement now all abstract methods, it's going to put them in the bottom of the class, and then I just need to do something now. Return the area. But what is the area of a circle?
2 pi.
It's not 2 pi. It's okay, pi. So I'm going to get the pi from math.pi. I don't want to define a new value. Multiplied by radius. Multiplied by radius. If I'm not sure, okay, just go here, type whatever area circle, and then you're going to get the area of the circle, which is pi r square. If you'd like to have the perimeter, circumference, actually there's no perimeter for a circle. They call it circumference of the circle, not perimeter. But anyways, because we inherit the method from our superclass, so we're not going to change the name. We are just going to be using, this is the circumference, which is 2 pi r. So now this is the formula for the get area. The get perimeter, I'm just going to change this by 2 multiplied by pi by r, and then I'm going to return this. I don't need to put the parentheses because this is going to be doing the calculations anyway, but you can put them if you feel that they make you more comfortable. So we had get area, get perimeter defined. Now the last thing is the last thing is the toString here, and let's do the same thing. Alt insert, and with the toString, and it's going to generate. So you can see now it shows me this is a circle with this radius. I can add more things. For example, if I'd like to add more things, like I don't know, the things that are coming from the class, my superclass, which are like this color. Plus, let's go back to the line maybe. And we have field. And now I'm going to close this place. So I just do something more than just what was initially suggested. Now I'm just showing the circle, the radius, and plus the other things. I don't need to have this plus there. Yes? Okay, so this is my toString. You can put anything you want. I'm just putting something that shows all the different values. So now we're done with this circle. Are we done with the circle? Yes, we finished it. Now let's go for the rectangle. New class rectangle. Okay, so in this rectangle it extends shape, same thing, and we're going to be having the same problem again. It's okay, we're going to live with it for a while. We have width and length. Width, double, width, and double length. And encapsulate the fields, all of them, and make them protected, because they should be protected. I'm going to, yes, this hash tag means this hash, key is representing the protected. It was mentioned also here, if you didn't look at it, the two protected instance variables, okay, and they are denoted with this sharp key or the hashtag sign in the class diagram. Okay, so now we have these ones. Let's insert the constructor. Same idea. Shift Alt insert and then constructor, and then there's one that is empty, and in the one empty I'm going just to call the super, that does nothing except just put some initialization, and then width equal to -1 whatever, and then length equal -1. So if I obtain like some negative values for get area or get perimeter, it will just show me that this doesn't make sense. So now let's insert the other one. Alt insert, and then the constructor that takes only the two, right? Only sorry, we wanted to have only the two, the width and the length. So let's add these two, generate, and let's call my super lowercase constructor. So this is going to be calling this one that shows no color and false in that one. And the last one is the constructor that takes them all, not this one, and then I'm just moving with the tab, and then so I can do this on the keyboard, and I can see now I have this double width and length, and then string color boolean field, and the two are going to be sent to the superclass, and the other two are going to be kept within the class. And I'm done with these constructors over here. and I've finished the get width and set width and everything. So I just need now to implement those two and the toString, and I'm done. So let's implement all abstract methods, and then I'm going to be return width multiplied by length. This is for the area. I went too far. And for the perimeter, what is the formula for the perimeter? The perimeter is this length, length and width plus length and width. So length and width times 2. Length, width plus length plus width. So that's how we calculate the perimeter, and then I just calculate length and plus width, and then multiply it by 2, and I get the perimeter. All right. Alt insert the toString. Okay, and I'm going to be doing the same thing here just for fun. Add other things coming from here, and so let's add them. So I have the color and then the fields. So this is going to be showing something like that. Because I don't want them to be on the line. These are going to be on one line, because they didn't go back to the line. If I want them to go back to the line, as you said, I'm going to be using \n, backslash, not slash. Yes. Any questions up to now? You see, it's the same thing repeating. It's almost the same thing, just the formula that was changed actually. Now the new thing, and maybe the one that had some of you, thinking about, is this square, and especially that there's no side here, and then this was puzzling some of you. And well, let's go ahead and do this side, this square. So this square, sorry? It extends the rectangle, which in turn extends the shape. So as you can see, since I'm extending the rectangle, and rectangle doesn't have any abstract methods, it doesn't complain about implementing the abstract methods. I just don't have to do that. But you see that there are no instance variables for square. I need just to have these 3 constructors. So now if I use this alt insert and the constructor, it just shows me, oh, there's nothing on my right side because there are no instance variables, but there are things that I can use. Which one you would like to use? I would like to use the constructor that doesn't call anything. Okay, so this is the one. This one doesn't call, will be calling just, it's basically, it does that. This is what it does, basically. And we can have another one, insert, another constructor that is going to be calling this one, because we see that we have this side. This is now something interesting. So I'd like just to call this one with the side. However, I don't have width and length. I would like just to have side. But since the side for a square means it's the width equal to the length. So the same value of side, I'm going to put it and send it in the width and send it as well in the length to my superconstructor, my rectangle. So a square is like a rectangle, except like the width and length are equal. So that's what I'm doing. Whatever side you give me, I'm going to send it in both width and length. And this is going to be using the variables coming from my superclass, width and length, without the need of declaring new ones. We don't have to. Is everybody okay with this one? Yes?
You don't need to declare it in the first place.
I don't have to declare. Yes.
Only rename the width and
I don't rename them because they're still there.
width and
Exactly. I'm going to use them. Now if I calculate, for example, the area of a square, and I send the same number of in the length and the width, the formula will be the same, because it's this multiplied by that. That's the same thing. Where?
We get side.
Yes.
Length down to length.
Okay. Yes.
Then we make width and length side. Right.
I don't get your question.
We get side from width down to length.
We get the side from the width and length. Yes. One of them actually is going to be the side because they're equal. Yeah.
Then we will make them outside.
Yes. This is what I did. If you give me this, what is the side of your square, I'm going to send this to my superclass rectangle and say that this is a special square because it has the same length and the same width. The width and length are the same value. So when I'm sending to my superclass, I'm just saying I'm just sending you two values that are the same, that are equal. And this is why this square is inheriting from rectangle, because a square is just a special rectangle. It's a rectangle, but special because the width and length are equal. So that's why I didn't have to create another instance variable. Actually, we don't want you to create an instance variable. And now if I insert again for the third constructor, which is the one that is going to be using this one, and I can see that I don't want to be using this same thing. I'm going just to put side and use the side of to both the width and length from my super constructor, and this is going to be calling this constructor with 3 arguments: side and then a boolean and string and boolean. Is everybody okay with these constructors? So now that we know how this is going to be working out, we can just do the same with get side. I cannot encapsulate fields because there are no fields, but I can have get side. So public double get side, and I should return something. Which one? You choose the width, the length. One of them is going to be the side. Choose which one you would like, because these two variables are equal, their content is equal. So choose this one or that one, it's up to you. And for the set side, however, because it's void and then a set side, when a set side is just give me one value, but oh no, I meant this. But then this value I need to put it to width and length, both of them. They have to be equal. I can do something like this if you're lazy, which means take the value of this parameter, this argument, send it to save it inside width and save it inside length, the same value. Or you can just put them into like this. Same idea. Because the side of a square, if you set it, it should be the same length and same width. So that's why this is the same thing that I'm doing here.
But if it's not square, it will be more complicated.
Well, because now we're in square, we're just working on square. Maybe if you have another shape that has some other things, then you have to look at the specifics of that shape. But now this is just a square, which is a special case of a rectangle. That's why it's simpler. So that's why we have set, as we set side, we just takes the side and then it's void, and then get side, that just double. Now we have this set width and set length. Why are we doing this? Why are we, now you see this is some sort of, this is overriding. Because I have, okay, let me show it to you. Public void set width, it is set width, double and side. It's going to tell me you're overriding. Why do I need to override this? Because every time if you set the width, you change the width, we should change the length. But our superclass accessor, this mutator, this set width, it just does one thing. If you set the width, it doesn't make it equal to the length. So if we use now, if somebody uses within a square set width, and we don't override set width to make it behave the way it should. What is the way it should? Actually, it should do this, actually. Whenever you set the width, it should do this. Which is basically this. This is what I want to do. Every time if you set the width, you should set the length as well. And if you do the same thing for the length, you do the same thing again. If you set the length, then you have to set them both. That's why we have to override these, or somebody will be using our class, and then our class are not going to be well designed, because if they use these set width and set length that comes from our superclass, rectangle, they're going to be behaving differently. Because what happens if we don't do this? I'm just going to go back now to this test shape, and then to show you this. If I do this square, S1 equal new square, and then I'm going to put 5 because I can. So now the size is 5, right? If I do this system.out.println S1.getArea, what should I see? 5 multiplied by 5. That's 25. Right? Yeah. Okay, now if I do this S1 dot, I'm going to see I can have a lot of different things. Among them is set width and set length. What happens if I change this to 4? I might think, okay, since the set length is 4, normally the area is 4 multiplied by 4, yeah, which is 16. But now if I run it, remember, I removed the overriding of those two methods. Now if I run now, it's not 16 anymore. It's 4 times 5, because we only changed length, and from our constructor, set length only changed the length. It did not change the width. And we want these two to be changed. So that's why we have to override these two, set width and set length. We have to override them. Why? Because we would like them to do something like this. Whenever you change one of them, we're going to change both of them. And instead of doing this copy and paste, we can just also call the set side, because it does the same thing. But whatever, it's just up to you. That's fine. So now if I do something like this, if I run it, it's going to show the correct thing. So if even I set the length, I use this one, I can do that. So is this clear?
Yeah.
So this is something that you need to take care of when you design your classes. You have to make sure that whatever you inherit is not going to be messing up your classes. You remember that if I'm overriding, I can open the restrictions, but I cannot restrict. It would be handy, for example, I was able to just prevent inheriting those two, set width and set length. It would have been better, because I have set side and get side. I don't need these two. I can, if I were able to hide them, I don't want to see them, then I could. But we haven't seen anything like that for now. We said that quite the opposite. If something is protected, I can make it public, but I cannot. If something is public, I cannot make it protected or private. I cannot restrict it more. I can open the restrictions, but I cannot close them, because if I open the restrictions, I open them based on my needs or my classes. But if I'm inheriting something, then I need to use it. I cannot force it, or I just need to do some other things, like these things like that. Okay, what I did, okay, cancel. I prefer to see something like this because it's much neat. It's better. So it's this set side, but it says that set side is missing just a semicolon. Okay, I was thinking maybe there was a problem, but that's fine. So now every time you set the width, it's going to set the side, both of them, width and length. It's the same idea. All right, so we're almost done. because the last thing is the toString, and toString can be generated easily by just alt insert and then the toString, and there's nothing to show, and then it's just going to generate this, except that I'm going to actually copy it from the toString from here, and it's going to be exactly the same thing, except that I'm going just to show side equal. I don't need length because one of them is enough, and these things, and instead of rectangle it should be square. And that's it now for this, all these classes. Alhamdulillah, we made it. Any questions up to now? Everything should be very clear, and if you have this as an exam, you should have A+. If not, you have to ask a question.
Does the test the exams?
Sorry?
The code of the test you will give us?
Well, it depends. It depends. Everything is open. So now let's go back to our question here, and let's base this and see, because they said maybe this code is going to be giving you some mistakes. So let's go to this main and run this code and see what is happening. Okay, first of all, let's get this, and then let's try to answer those questions. This is upcast circle to shape. They want you to realize that what we did, this new circle is not put into a variable of data type circle. It's put in a variable of data type shape. So I'm not putting things circle within a circle, but a circle inside of a shape, and I can go up because upcasting is allowed. That's fine, there's no problem. So if I do S1, which version is going to be called? What do they mean with which version? Because this is going to call something. Huh? It's going to call a method. This one, this line here is going to call a method. Which method?
The shape.
Sorry?
The shape method.
The seed?
The shape the method from the shape class.
From the shape?
Yeah.
Which one? Which method first? Which method from the shape class?
Construction.
The constructor? No. This is not calling the constructor. Sorry? Square? No. No, I mean, look, each one of these are calling methods. We are calling some methods, right? Now my question is, this is calling a method? I think you forgot something. Okay, let me show it to you. What about this? What's the difference between this instruction, this right now, right here, and this one? It's the same. So what I was expecting you to tell me when I told you what this is going to call, which method is going to call, I was expecting you to tell me this is going to call toString, but I was surprised you forgot about it. Anyways, so it's going to call toString. We have many toStrings. We have toStrings within a circle, toString in a shape, and toString coming from object. Which toString is going to be called? This is the equation. Which version? Circle? Circle? Everybody says circle? It is the circle, yes. So it's going to call the toString from the circle. And just to make sure what we're going to be doing, we're going just to do something like this. Comment the rest up to here, and then we uncomment only the ones that we would like to see, so we're going to run. So if I run this, I should see the one coming from the circle. So your guess was right. Now let's keep moving, and now now this get area, which one is going to be used? Because we have get area from the circle and get area from the shape. Which one is going to be called? From the circle. Okay. Everybody agrees? Yes? Of course from the circle, because on the shape it's abstract. There is no definition for the get area. So there's no other option. It has to be from circle. All right. Now get perimeter, same answer. Get color, is there any get color from, it's coming from circle? No, it's coming from shape. We don't have get color in circle. There's only get area, get perimeter, get radius, that's it. So for these, okay, they all come from the places they are. Okay, what about this one now? S1.get radius. But why do we have this? We have this mistake. It's trying to get it from shape. Maybe it's a spelling mistake. Okay, let's just go back to the circle and do this, get radius, copy it, and come back here and paste it. It's the same. There's no spelling mistake. But this is not going to be working. Why? Because S1 is a shape. So everything that is in common with the circle is going to be accessible through the shape. But something that is specific to the circle is not going to be accessible through the shape. No, it's not there. In the shape there's nothing called get radius.
Yeah, I mean it's protected any circle.
No, because it's not in the class itself, in the class shape. If I'm in a class, I can access everything from my upper class, superclass. But can I access everything from my subclasses? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying now to get this S1, which is what is data type? Shape. And we're trying to access something from its subclass, circle. Where here we're trying to access this one, this get radius from down there. And we can't. We can go up and access our methods from our superclass, but we cannot go down and access methods from our subclasses. And this is why this is giving you a mistake. So how to solve this? I need to do something like this downcasting. So now let's just put this into comments so we can run and do this. Now if we run everything, let's just comment the rest. If we run something like this, look what is happening. I take this S1, which is shape, and I am downcasting a shape into a circle.
Like converting double to...
Exactly, this is more for conversion. However, we said downcasting, you have to be careful. You have to know actually what you're doing. And we know what you were doing because initially S1 was containing a circle. So if we convert S1 back to a circle, it's not going to be a problem. If we downcast it to that, it's not a problem because we know that S1 originally was a circle. So that's why if we do something like this, now if we do C1, it's going to call the toString from the class circle, the get area from the class circle, the get perimeter class circle, get color, of course, is going to call the one from my superclass. We don't have get color. So we don't have get color in circle. So it's going to call our superclass. Is field, same thing, but get radius is not giving us any mistake anymore because we're calling get radius from within the class, within our own class, within the circle. So if I run this, it's going just to do this. So this is the let maybe. Okay, let me just comment these so we don't want them to show again, and run them again. So we just see the latest displays here. Notice that I did not comment this one because we're using it here. I did not comment this line because we're using this S1 there. So the output now, this is the toString, this is the get area, this is the get perimeter, and the get color is field, and get radius. And the radius was this here. Fine. Up to now it's okay. Now we're trying to do this. Why is this a problem? Exactly. It cannot be instantiated because it's abstract. So this is obviously going to give you a mistake. So you cannot use that. Okay, so let's comment these. We're done with them. And continue now. We're going back to the rectangle. Do we? Maybe just leave this one just in case we need them. So now we have S3. And we are declaring the rectangle. We're upcasting again, because we take a rectangle and put it inside of a shape. That's fine. So same question, we don't need to ask now. S3 is calling now the toString method, which is the one coming from the shape or rectangle? Rectangle. Rectangle. Get area from the rectangle, perimeter from the rectangle, color, of course, is coming from up. Get length, same problem like get radius, same thing. Because this S3 is a shape, but we have put a rectangle within it, but still this is within a shape. Now a shape cannot access the methods from the classes that are their subclasses. So that's why this is going to be giving us a mistake. But with the downcasting again, we're going to be able to use that, and how it uses get length and so on. Okay, let's comment again and keep going. So now if we display this, it's going just to show this rectangle. So let's comment these ones, we don't want them. Okay, now this one. A square, put it in a shape, and we get side, same thing. But now if, look at what is happening here. This shape S4, which is a square. Okay, let's comment this so you can see it. This S4 is a shape, but I have put inside of it a square. This S4, I'm converting it to a rectangle. Is it possible? I'm doing a downcasting here, right? I'm taking a shape, put it back into a rectangle. So it was a square. I put a square inside the shape. Now I'm taking a shape and put it inside of a rectangle. Now everything is okay except this one. Why? Because in rectangle I don't have get side, which is in the subclass. Same problem. But I still can have get length, get color, get area. Everything is going to work. So this one is not going to be working. But if I take this rectangle now and put it as a square, now everything is going to be okay. So this is some sort of a big example and review for the downcasting, upcasting, and we've seen this also these abstract classes, abstract methods. And do you have any questions? Just headaches?
About the error.
The error, which error? About which error?
About it's trying to obtain a clone shape.
Which code here? The first one? Okay, in this code here. Okay. Yes. Why is this showing like this? Because we have put a circle within a shape, which is possible because a circle is a shape. We can put a circle within a shape, that's fine, because it's upcasting, that's normal, we can do it. Because a circle is a shape, anyways. However, if we have put this circle within the object, an object of type shape, and an object of type shape can only access everything within the shape or its superclasses. I can take everything from the shape or what's coming up, what's coming from up, but I cannot go down. Now here, I'm in shape, and I can access everything from here, and if there's anything I'm inheriting, I'm accessing it as well. But can I access something from down there, my subclasses? No. And this is what I'm trying to do here. Get radius is not within shape, it's within the circle. And if you try to get something from your subclass, you can't. That's why we have this mistake over here. Okay?